This video is published by mbkpinternational.com. In this video, we're going to talk about the EC19 Pro version 2 and just about the basic startup, basic operation of the cutter. First thing you're going to want to do is plug it into 110 volt outlet. This one came on, but if it doesn't come on, you can flip this switch up to turn it on. It was already on. And another thing, if it still doesn't come on, your emergency stop can be pushed in here. It kills the machine. And so if it doesn't come on, you can see this is on, it's plugged in. If it doesn't come on right away, check your emergency stop. It could be pushed in. Just turn it clockwise and it should pop out if it was pushed in and turn on. So when you first turn on, the paper push will move to the back and then to recalibrate itself, and then back to the place its last starting point. In this case, it looks like it's going to be around 5 inches. Yeah. First thing we're going to go over is this grid here. It's got a safety grid here. The green light means it's okay to put it. If anything goes in here, you can see that green light goes off and the red one comes on. So if it won't cut if something's in here, it'll give you an F1 sensor fault if something blocks this area. Even these bottom ones get blocked, but if you've got some long paper that hangs out, it would affect it. It wouldn't let you cut it because it's affecting this grid. But you can turn off the bottom portion with just this switch here. And when you turn that switch on, the green light flickers, and that's how you know it's on. And that allows you to a stack of paper to hang out here and still be able to cut it. But for normal operation, 99% of the time, you just want this off where the green light is solid. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a sample cut. It's just a stack of paper I've been cutting on. I'm gonna slide it in here, and just you can use your paper jogger to make sure it's fully in. I like putting it in the middle the best. It seems to be about the best way to cut. Just make sure it's fully against the paper push, because it's only going to be as accurate as you place the paper. And if you don't get it already where you want it, I'm going to need to move it forward, because it's going to. You do have this laser light line you can use by, but it's not meant to be 100% accurate. It can be off by just a little bit, hair or something. So for accuracy, you need to use your touchpad. Right now it's in manual mode, and typically you'll get it in the M manual mode. That's what most of the stuff you'll do. You typically want to just double push C to highlight that and put in whatever inch mark you want to do it at. I'm going to do 4.5 inches, 450, enter. And push it to the 4.5 inch mark. And if you want, you can just double check it. And pretty simple on these. If your reset button's already lit, you don't have to push it, but if it's not, you can go ahead and push it. It doesn't matter if you push it either way. And we're just going to be pushing and holding the two cut buttons, which are the two outer buttons. So you're going to push and hold. You don't let go until the blade returns to the top and stops. And then you can let go of the buttons. If you let go of the buttons before that, you'll stop in the middle of the cut, and I'll go over that in a little bit. That's the proper cutting procedure. I got the eject on this with that little arrow, and it pushes it out after a cut. You can turn that off if you don't want it. Let me just show you what some people end up doing and have a problem with blowing fuses sometimes. They'll go ahead and do a cut, and they'll release it, whether it's just out of fear or whatever, in the middle of a cut, and they'll go, oh, and they'll think, okay, what's the next thing they're going to do? They're going to push their buttons again, and it's just going to sit there and hum. It won't go through it. It's just, you can burn out a board potentially, but what normally happens is you'll blow a fuse if you just keep holding the cut buttons when it's already in the middle of a cut. The proper procedure, if you let go of these cut buttons in the middle of a cut, the proper procedure is to reverse the blade. And to do that, you push this first to light it up. If it's already lit up, you don't have to, but the two center buttons you want to push. And that reverses it, and then you can start the cut over again if you want. And this time hold the cut buttons until it's done cutting. Let me go over it one more time with you on this, just so you can see it without paper. You can see when the blade goes down, the proper procedures, it will go down and it will stop for like 1 second at the very bottom before it returns. So it does stop at the very bottom for 1 second and then returns, so that's normal. But if it stops anywhere else, for like in the middle of a cut, or if it stops for more than a second, like 2 seconds or something, you want to let go of the cut buttons. If you observe anything out of the ordinary, any dangerous situation, you always want to stop, let go of the cut buttons, press your emergency stop to kill the machine. That's just basic. If you observe anything that you're any dangerous situation, or if you try to do a cut and it gets stuck in the middle cut. Reasons why it could get stuck in the middle cut, again, is if you let go of the cut buttons. Other reasons is sometimes people put 2 stacks of paper side by side and it's just too much for the cutter. It can't make it through it. Other reasons is like long 17-inch paper, card stock, a lot of people do, and they'll put up 2 inches high, and it's just too much for the cutter. Sometimes you can get through it if you got a brand new razor sharp blade, but generally you do not want to do that much. If you do the long paper, you want to keep it around 1 inch or less. And you can do a full ream, but when you get that longer stuff, it gets problems. As your cutter gets older, your blade will get a little dull over the time, so that could cause it to not be able to cut through the stack of paper. If it stops in the middle of a cut, it just can't do it because the blade's too dull and it needs to be replaced. Generally, you replace your blade every 6 months or so. Just depends on how much you use it, though. So it will vary greatly, 6 months to a year. But we do recommend you at least replace it every year, just to keep it a nice sharp blade, and it kind of helps keep your cutter from overworking and burning out other things like motors and main boards and stuff. But that's basically it. Pretty simple operation. Don't really got anything else on this. Just quick. I just want to give you a quick video on cutting, and you punch in here like I showed you. Double push it. You can go to 500 for 5 inches and just enter. Paper push will move to the proper cutting spot for you, and you can load your paper and do your cut. And that's basically it. This video was published by mbkpinternational.com.